Hi, my name is Anna Downs. I'm the CEO of Video Sherpa, and in this short pre-recorded webinar, I want to talk to you about how you can go about planning the video marketing strategy for your own company. Video is something we're all hearing about all the time, and whether your company has already begun using video content and is finding some success with it, whether it's something that you do on an occasional ad hoc basis as the opportunity presents itself, or whether it's something that you're quite new to and really want to start engaging with this year. Having a good comprehensive strategy for your video marketing will definitely help you to get much more success from the resources that you're putting into your video campaigns. So what we're going to talk about today is how you go about planning that strategy to maximize success for your work. First things first, is it worth it? There's no doubt that putting video marketing campaigns together and creating video content, it can be time consuming. It can take effort and energy and budget. So you want to be sure that it's definitely worth your while. And I'm glad to say the evidence is overwhelmingly that it is. Video content is far superior than just producing text or image-based social media content for your audiences. And for marketeers who use video marketing on a regular basis, the evidence in terms of the results they're achieving is really significant. So 86% of marketers who are using video marketing know that it is driving increased traffic to their website. And when people get to the website, they stay there longer. 94% of marketers show that video helps their audience to understand better about their products, their services, and their companies. It's persuading people to actually buy. It's leading to not just leads and engagement, but directly to increased sales. Up to 84% of marketers using video say it is directly driving sales for their company. So, in the answer to is it worth your while? It most definitely is. When we talk about video marketing campaigns, one of the first things that we speak to our clients is to try and get them to take a step back, because video marketing campaigns shouldn't be about your product or service in isolation. It has to come from the point of view of your audience. So when we talk about sort of stepping into your audience's shoes and seeing the problems and the issues from their perspective, what I find helpful is to really look at both their kind of lifestyle motivations and the external environmental trends and issues that are impacting them and are going to have an impact on their decision making. So whoever your audience is, or your many micro audiences, it's helpful to look at them from the perspective of, well, their age, their gender, their family situation, the job they work in, what kind of budget do they have, what kind of discretionary spend do they have, do they have dependents, what stage of their life are they at, are they early career or are they approaching retirement? All of these issues will feed into not just their budgeting, but their approach to decision making, to look at what are the problems and issues facing them and how does your company address those issues, or what extra additional benefits can you bring to your clients. And as well as the internal, I suppose, personal demographics of their lives, what are the external trends that they're grappling with? So in terms of what are their attitudes? Are they very risk averse, or do they like to be innovative and always at the cutting edge of new developments? What values do they bring? Are they very ecologically aware, very aware of climate change, of miles, of where the provenance of the products come from? Or are they real bargain hunters and do they love to get a really good deal? Where are they based? And how does that impact on the accessibility of your company's products and services to them? What worries them? What's keeping them up at night? What fears can you help address for them? If you are in a B2B space, well then what metrics is your audience being measured against, and how can you help them to achieve those goals within their own business? Who influences them? So what are the other people around the world, maybe significant figures in their industry or in culture, that you know from looking at your audience's LinkedIn page, looking at the profiles, looking at the kinds of people that they follow? Who are their influences? and what external trends are weighing on them. I mean, for all of us, we're grappling with things like COVID-19. For those of us in the UK and Ireland, Brexit is a big issue for many of us in our lives, particularly in a B2B environment. Those external influences, as well as the internal demographics of your audience, come to bear on how to present your information to the different segments and the different micro audiences that you are going to be addressing within your marketing mix. So it's really worth your while to just take a beat and to look at those factors before you dive into what your actual content is going to be like. As well as your audience, what we need to marry that to is, well, what is the objective? Why are we creating this particular piece of video content, and what are we trying to achieve with it? So there are many, many objectives that we could have with every single piece of marketing content we produce. Are we just trying to increase audience engagement? Are we trying to get people into the conversation, active on our platforms and engaging with us? Are we trying to build trust in our brand? Maybe we're new to the market, maybe we're trying to let people know that we exist, but to trust us. This is particularly important perhaps in financial, in banking, in medtech, in software, and also for companies that deal in services. Because if your audience don't trust you guys as a team to deliver the service, well, then you're really on an uphill struggle from the get-go. Maybe you're trying to drive traffic to the website. Maybe you have an e-commerce site, maybe a lot of conversion happen on the website and you need volume of traffic to that website. So that's going to be the goal for this particular video. And then once they get there, you're trying to boost conversions. So what kind of video marketing can sit on your website that are actually going to make people put that item into the cart and then pull out the credit card? Maybe you want to generate bookings or inquiries and sales. Maybe you have an online course that you're trying to sell, or you have an online event that you want people to sign up for. Or perhaps you're trying to position your company as one with thought leadership and you're looking to the future. You're a trusted brand that knows where the industry is going and you want to position your senior management team in that light. So there could be a whole other plethora of objectives that you particularly have in terms of your video marketing strategy. But the important point is to be very, very clear on what your objective is for each individual piece of content that you're creating. Far too often, we don't take the time to align our objective with our target audience and to really craft content that is going to address their issues, their fears very, very specifically. But when we do take the time to do that, our content is far more effective for it. So what kinds of content can you look at for each of these different objectives? So let's say it's audience engagement is your number one priority for the next couple of months. So different things that you could try. Repurposing popular content that has already been used across your marketing mix. So maybe you have a blog post that was really, really effective and got an awful lot of views. So you might like to try and put that together now into a vlog, into a video piece that you can share in maybe in a slightly different format on different channels and repurpose the audience that you already had for it. Try an Ask Me Anything day on your Facebook channel or on your Instagram page, where customers are invited to ask questions that they've always wanted to know the answers to, and you create short little videos in response to that. A day in the life of your company or one of your clients or one of your teammates or one of your suppliers. There's a million different ways that you could approach this, but we're curious by nature. So getting in behind the scenes and seeing how these things work is always fascinating to your audience. So think about how a day in the life could maybe work for you guys in terms of moving forward on your objectives, being of interest to your audience and bringing those two elements together. User-generated content can be really, really impactful. And lots of studies have shown that if you are targeting particularly a younger generation, they are even more influenced by peer-generated content, if you like. So if you're in the higher education space, if you're in retail, looking to target younger audiences, then inviting your existing customers or clients to record pieces that you can put together in your marketing mix and incorporate that kind of external voice is very, very, very impactful. So really well worth looking at how you could use some of your user-generated content already. We might be in lockdown right now, but event videos are always of interest and always have quite a long lifetime on your different marketing channels, because you can create lots of different pieces of content from the same one event. Obviously, the build up, getting people excited before it even starts, the behind the scenes of how it comes together in the run up to that event and the days leading up to it. The event itself can be broken down into lots of different people, lots of vox pops, maybe interviews with key guests, some of the panel sessions, whatever your event is, it's always going to provide lots and lots of different elements of content that you can capture on the day and then parse out to your audiences in slightly different ways. Some longer pieces, some short little micro pieces, different emphasis depending on who you're going to target and what channels you're going to put that content on after the fact. Customer giveaways, so special dates on the calendar, whether that's, Easter, midterm, Halloween, Christmas, you might have special offers, you might have particular events happening or customer engagement events happening. So there's always opportunity around special key dates in the calendar to create novel, hopefully lighthearted, fun and engaging pieces of content that's going to refresh your engagement with your ongoing audience around those. So audience engagement, lots of ideas there for things for you to try. And obviously some will be more relevant to your business than others. So it's up to you to kind of bear in mind your specific target audiences and what you think they would like and what works best on the channels that they visit most regularly. If your objective is to build trust in your brand, well, then there are other ideas that you can bring into the mix for these particular types of videos. So celebrating company milestones, showing the progress of your company over time, whether that is expanding your team, whether it's new products to the market or new services that you offer, whether it is goals in terms of reaching a certain number of customers or selling into a certain number of industries and countries, whether it's awards that you've won, there can be any number of company milestones that you can share. And rather than keep it internal, share it with your wider audience. It gives them the confidence that you guys are growing, that you know what you're doing, that you're achieving success, and therefore your audience is going to want to work with you. Introducing new team members is always a lovely one, especially again if you work in a service-based industry where your team's expertise and knowledge is going to directly impact on your audience. So for example, if you work in financial services, if you're solicitors, if you're lawyers, accountants, all of those industries where your team's expertise comes to the fore, then introducing new members, letting people know their background, where they come from, what kind of work they've done before, and what particular expertise they bring to the team. Really, really good in terms of getting them off the ground. Sharing the team's expertise and experience is really good, and this can come to the fore, particularly where there might be issues in the news that your team can actually address with some expertise. Or perhaps you want to share knowledge and information with your audience. So for example, if you work in the legal profession, you might like to create a series of videos that give people a sense of, well, what to do around probate law, what to do around setting up your own business, what to do around if you're trying to sell your business. Small, short videos that share expertise, that give people a little snapshot into one particular part of the industry. You're giving value, you're giving information, and by giving that, you're going to generate goodwill and you're going to generate more audience to come to your website. So it's really well worth looking at what can you share without obviously creating hours and hours and hours of big long webinars. You want to keep it short, keep it interesting, keep it to the point, and give enough information to keep people coming back for more. Share the founder's story. So similar but slightly different to sharing company milestones. And this is particularly interesting in companies that have been around for quite a long time, and yet the founders may never have actually told their story on camera. And it's fascinating usually to listen to people and where they originally got the idea, what sort of milestones they've achieved, what they've overcome, what mistakes they made, and what serious challenges they've faced and pivots that they might have had to bring into the company. It's always something that I find, I love when I see a founder story video on a company website or on their social media channels. I'm always drawn to them. I think it's the nosy in us. We're always fascinated by people's stories. So this is a particularly good one, and it can be put together over time. It doesn't have to be, it can be added to as obviously the company continues to grow. And then case studies. If you're trying to build trust in your brand, then what you want to show is the benefit that your existing clients have already gotten from working with you. So video case studies are a really great way to achieve that. Now, case studies are really, really common, but video case studies are less common. So it really does give you that extra advantage because people are far more likely to watch a short 2 or 3 minute video than they are maybe to wade through quite a long written case study. So use it to your advantage and create some of those. If your objective is to drive a high volume of traffic to the website, then these are some of the things that you can do. You can offer some free resources like a downloadable guide, a white paper, a cheat sheet, anything like that that people are going to want to take away. So that's a really good way to get a lot of people to the website. Commenting on breaking news, being involved in the social conversation, whether that's on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, on whatever social channels you care to use. Not just always using text and images, but actually, try your hand at doing some really short micro videos that helps you to sort of raise your voice above the fray and be relevant in the conversations that are of interest to your audience and that are relevant to your company, your product and your service. If you're doing research, if you've got really good insights to share, then do a quick video to share those survey results rather than, again, relying on text and images all the time. Even do a video summary to sum up some of the main findings and then drive people to the website where they can download the full survey results. Really, really good way to try and get more people interested in what you're doing and just to let them know this information is there available to them. If you're recruiting, then doing a company culture video. What is it like to work for you guys? What is it actually like on a day-to-day basis within your company? These kind of videos really help you to stand out from the millions and millions of companies recruiting on a day-to-day basis. And they will help you to recruit the best and to make sure that you are getting the best candidates for the jobs. Productivity hacks. So whether it's a software product, a physical product, there are loads of different things that you can help people to do better using your products and services. So we see this all the time, maybe in makeup tutorials, in recipes, for food products. There's so many different productivity hacks that we can share with our audience that'll just help them. So always sharing your expertise, sharing your knowledge is a great way to keep your audience to keep coming back because they keep getting value from the engagement with you. And that's what you want. And vlogs. So we try and really practice what we preach here at Video Sherpa, and for every written blog that we produce, we try and produce a video vlog as well, either on the same topic or on something different. And there's a discipline required in it, but always ask yourself, could I do that in video as opposed to just doing it in paper? It's probably not going to take you much longer than it would have done to do it in written format in the first place. You've got the information to hand, you know what it is, and you're really going to get much higher audience engagement by producing a video rather than just writing it down. If your goal is not just getting people to the website, but actually converting, so filling in forms, putting things in the cart, actually generating leads and sales, then these are some of the things that you can create videos on to help achieve that. Product demos are an obvious one. People want to see how the product actually works. How is it going to work for them and what benefit they're going to get from it? So that's a given. That's a very common one. Product comparisons and product reviews are something that I think a lot more people in retail should be looking at. Product comparisons don't have to end up saying that one product is better than the other, but each product is going to be better for a different type of audience member, a different type of person. So for example, if I'm looking to buy a new laptop, I am inundated with options, and I could be, online looking at different websites and trying to figure out, well, which is the right one for me and what are the exact things that I need. So it can take hours and hours of research. Whereas if I could see some product comparison videos which weighed up, well, what are the really important factors to me? So if this and this and this is what you need, then these are the 3 or 4 that we recommend. That kind of information quickly and delivered person to person, it gives me a lot more confidence in my choices, particularly when we're all buying a lot more online now. Product reviews are obviously very, very similar, where you kind of go into a little bit more detail about each of the different products that you're looking at. Customer testimonials, again, like we said in the last one, they're great for building trust, but they're great for convincing people to actually put things in the cart and to whip out their credit card and pay for them, because it's an objective third-party voice that gives you confidence that yes, the top did fit, the shoes did fit, the bag did work, the bike is great, I love that machine. These are really important, and trying to get video versions of them will prove really, really impactful for your audience. So again, this is where you can tie in some of that user-generated content that we all love. Case studies, again, very, very good for getting people to cross the line to actually make that call, fill in that form, or sell that product. So really good to have some video case studies that people are naturally going to click on rather than perhaps read a long form of text. And FAQs, this is one that surprises me more people don't do. If you are getting a lot of repeat questions from your audience, then it's really simple to put together some short video FAQ answers. You know your audience is looking for this information, so it's a no-brainer to quickly record some quick answers to those most commonly asked questions and have them there proactively on your website or to share on your social channels and get ahead of them so that you're not losing anybody who had the question but maybe didn't take the time to fill in a form and ask you. So really, really good idea. And finally, in terms of brand positioning, so you want to position your company as maybe a thought leader, as a leader in the field. How do you go about creating some of that content? Well, again, by sharing video content on breaking news or on industry news, it shows that you've got your finger on the pulse, you understand what's going on in the market, you understand the future trends that are coming down the tracks, and you're actually at the forefront of that industry and really keeping abreast of everything and maybe even driving some of these key changes. So showing that your company is not being left behind, that you're not stuck, that you're actually continuing to evolve and advance and innovate, and to be able to share that through some videos that perhaps your senior management team or key people on your team are able to create and share. Industry webinars. Obviously, we're all webinared out. I'm doing another one here today, but they are very effective. They really do work. And if you don't want to always be the one on camera talking about your own company, then jumping down to my last point here, interviewing industry leaders is another great way of using the webinar format to share with your audience really important and effective information that's going to have a genuine benefit for them. So in terms of brand positioning, they're just some of the different video ideas that you can use and bring to bear. So we've got lots and lots of ideas. How do we put that together into a really effective strategy? For all of us, our year will be broken down into perhaps some key flagpole marketing events or initiatives. And we'll have those mapped out 3, 6, 9, maybe even 12 months in advance. Now, these key initiatives might revolve around new products or new features, or maybe a new service that you're offering. It might revolve around a new event that's coming up, be it digital or in person. You will know what these key moments are in terms of that are influencing the marketing plan that you've got going forward. And obviously, an awful lot of your key content will focus on those particular flagpole events, if you like, and your key messaging will revolve around those. What I would suggest is you always make sure that you're covering your 360 messaging around those key moments. So look at the key, for example, if it is a new product that you're introducing to the market. So you want to look at creating content for all the different audiences that are going to perhaps be interested in this, and not just try and do a one-size-fits-all product demo, for example. Have slightly different versions of your videos aimed at different micro audiences. And in that way, you're able to really laser focus your messaging to each specific key audience segment. But what's really important is that we get maximum value from the money and the resource and the time and the effort that we're putting into our video content. So as well as having these key pieces of marketing content throughout the year, we want to be able to reuse our footage into smaller little bite-sized chunks of content that we can intersperse throughout the year. So being able to reuse our best footage into shorter, smaller little packages that perhaps have a slightly different focus, are aimed at a slightly different audience, be that a different micro segment, or maybe you're sharing it on a different channel or in a different country, in a different language. Being able to repurpose your own content means that you get maximum value for that content. So, for example, if you're having a new suite of products being launched to the market this year, you're going to create different product videos. Maybe you're going to have some user-generated content of people using it in themselves, in their home or in work. You want to be able to reuse some of that footage. Perhaps then when you're doing some case studies, you're able to repurpose that. Maybe when you're doing some short micro videos around thought leadership, you're able to show how your products and services are actually generating benefit and where you see that going in the future. So you're able to repurpose some of the footage you created for the first video into the second video, into the third video, and to be able to constantly combine the footage that you already have in different ways for different audiences means that you're going to get really fantastic value from all of this work. To do this, you have to have a good digital asset management system. This is something Video Sherpa has built into its platform. So not only do we help you to film, edit and publish your content, we also help you to actually manage all of these resources so that you can quickly and easily reuse them again and again in different videos. So it's really, really key to plan it out in advance so that you're able to see, well, for this video, I'm going to need these 10 or 20 different shots, but straight away to identify, well, these 5 shots I can definitely reuse in this thought leadership piece that we're also going to put out the following week. And in that way, you're going to get real value for all of your effort. So in terms of maximizing that, what you want to do, I would suggest, is plan your content for the next 3 to 6 months. Don't just go on an ad hoc basis as and when an opportunity arises. By planning it in advance, you're going to be able to identify the footage that is going to be really multi-purpose for you and the footage that is going to work hardest and be applicable in lots of different types of videos. So once you've identified that footage, make sure you save it into your library, make sure you have it easily accessible so that you can quickly repurpose it when you are ready to create that next video. And to always think about the different micro audiences that you're looking at and the different use cases that you can present to them. So it's not just all your eggs going in one video, that video is done, shared, and you're starting from scratch again. You don't want to always start from scratch. You want to be able to reuse some elements of what you've shot before, combine them with new footage, and have some great new video content ready to go out again. By doing it this way, you're really able to increase the amount of video content that you can get out onto the market. And the more video you get out there, the more engagement that you can generate, the more you can drive leads and sales and ultimately revenue to your business. And that's what it's all about. So I hope you found that helpful. If you'd like to see how Video Sherpa works with you to achieve all of this, then we'd love to talk to you. So you can contact me, Anna, at videosherpa.com, and we'll take the conversation from there. So thanks a million, guys.